What's up everybody, it's June 17th, 2016 and it's time for today's episode of Level Up, our daily video game news show where we bring you the latest and greatest stories from within the industry as they break. This week has been our E3 week and we're closing out Friday with the details of Sony's E3 press conference. Now I know this conference did happen a few days ago, but we've been busy going through Microsoft's, Ubisoft's, EA's and Bethesda's so far, so it's finally time to get to the PlayStation conference. There's lots of announcements, loads of really good ones, so stick with me as we go through them all right here. And they kicked off the show in the best possible way with revealing a new first party game, and it's not completely new, it's a franchise we're familiar with. It's God of War. It looked really cool. As soon as Kratos made his appearance on the screen, the crowd went wild. They're really excited for this. It's kind of been long in development. There's been rumours circulating that there was going to be a new God of War, heavily influenced by Norse mythology, and this seems to be the case there. It does seem to have a little bit more of a realism visual aesthetic to it rather than maybe more of a cartoony of God of War 2. Looks really cool. Kratos, it's a reboot, it is simply called God of War. Kratos doesn't seem quite as angry as he has been in previous games. There is still a bit of anger there, but he's now got a son that he's training up to bring him on, and the combat also looks a little bit less kind of button mashing, hack and slashing, and maybe a little bit more tactical, kind of maybe aching a little bit more towards Dark Demon Souls, although I'm pretty sure not as difficult as that. We didn't get a release date, unfortunately, but really excited to see that God of War will be coming to the PS4 at some point in the near future. Sony then carried on with these first party exclusives. You're going to see a lot of them as they start the show. It's a really great start to the show. And finally, Sony Bend. They have been doing something all these years since they completed Uncharted Golden Abyss. It is called Days Gone. We saw a trailer for it. It basically simply looks like a post-apocalyptic world with you look like you're part of a biker gang, and it's all kind of trying to it's similar, like I suppose in The Last of Us, trying to rebuild the world after everything's gone to shit. Lots of zombies and stuff. We'll see a little bit more of it later on without saying too much. But yeah, this trailer looked really cool. It got people excited. Again, no date. We're thinking maybe could this be their big AAA title of 2016, but no date put on this game. The big 2016 release is indeed, as expected, The Last Guardian. That followed Days Gone, and we saw a little snippet of a trailer. It was pretty short, it was pretty sweet. Didn't want to see too much of this game. We've already talked about this game to death. I mean, we've said before on the show how the story behind this game is ridiculous. It's been so many years in the making, and we finally know that the game will be coming out on October the 25th, if that's a worldwide release. If it's not a worldwide release, then obviously we'll get it on the 28th. But either way, end of October, really excited to see that. They then went from Last Guardian into Horizon Zero Dawn. Obviously, we heard just before E3 that this game has been delayed out to 2017 in February. But this was an opportunity to show us some of the gameplay, some of the mechanics. So we see that there's a lot of kind of resource collection as we kind of expected in an RPG game. There's the dialogue choices there that we saw again in the trailer. We saw some of the combat as well, and it looks really cool. Like there's explosions going on as the robot tries to shoot and misses. So it looks like the world is going to be destructible as well. So it's really good. We actually now we know. Kind of, we learned about the main protagonist, and we know kind of what the world is. We now see a little bit about how the game works, and it does still look fantastic. I can't wait to play this game. It's disappointing that it's not this year, but if it needs more time, then it needs more time. We'll look forward to that next year. And then closing out their big fast start of AAA exclusive for the PS4, we saw Detroit Become Human. So this is a brand new trailer. We first saw the game at PSX last year. We're learning, obviously, it is a Quantic Dream game, so as expected, multiple different story paths. So we see this trailer is surrounding a character called Connor. Now he is an AI, but he does appear to be working for the humans, and this trailer is basically just him trying to talk down another AI who has basically got a kid captured, and we see all the different endings for it. It's really cool. I mean, there was no sign of Kara, who was the original character that we saw in the first trailer. So this kind of looks maybe more akin to the Heavy Rain with multiple characters, multiple different scenarios. So it looked pretty good. It was a really strong trailer. They didn't say too much about the game. They didn't come out and give any marketing spiel. It was just a trailer for us to enjoy. Again, as with a couple of them at the start there, still no date on this one. I really thought we might get an announcement of a date. Obviously the game's now was announced almost a year ago. But no, still waiting for that. Is in development. Is going to be coming to PS4 eventually, but who knows? Maybe that's a kind of April 2017. Who knows? We'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. They then moved into their VR section of the game, of the conference, talking about PlayStation VR. And it kicked off with a trailer which looked like it was going to be an abandoned house. Now, from what I understand, this is a demo that has been shown with the head unit in the past. You're in a kitchen, abandoned, all of that. And then it progresses on a little bit further. And then right at the end, we actually find out that this is not any kind of standalone game, any normal game. No. This is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. So really excited for that. It's going to be a PS4 game, not exclusive, Xbox One, PC as well, but the game will be fully playable in VR as well, and it's coming January 24th. So only about 6-7 months away, and more importantly, there's a demo available right now on the PSN for PS Plus users. So make sure you go and check that out. Very similar, obviously, to what the Konami did with PT. And Silent Hills. But yeah, really excited for this. Can't wait. Think horror is the perfect genre for VR. They then also confirmed that the PSVR headset itself will be coming out in October 13th in the US. I think it's slightly later in the UK, but obviously they weren't talking about it there. They did, as before, confirm that 50 games will be coming to the headset before the end of 2016, and they showed a couple more here. They showed one called Farpoint, which looks like a game that's kind of set in outer space, a shooter exploration, but it looks like a proper game. None of this kind of just tech demo stuff that we've seen before. So that was pretty cool. Then they announced that the Star Wars Battlefront, now before we get too excited, it's not going all VR, but there is going to be an X-Wing VR mission in Battlefront. So that's pretty cool, exclusive to the PlayStation VR. So for fans of the head unit, obviously, a lot of people have probably got Battlefront. They can now check out a mission which will be no doubt really cool in the X-Wing. And then they also confirmed that Batman Arkham VR is a thing. It's being made by Rocksteady. It's going to be coming in October 2016. No further details on this. As much as I would love it to be a full Batman game, this is probably just going to be almost like a tech demo experience thing, maybe like the equivalent of like some DLC for Arkham Knight. Who knows? We will find out soon, I'm sure, with it only being a few months away, but that's all they said right there. And then they showed us Final Fantasy 15 with a trailer there. It was the same trailer from what I could tell as what was at the Xbox or Microsoft conference, but they did add at the end that it will have a VR experience. So there will be a level or a section where you will actually be able to use the PlayStation VR. So obviously that is unique to the console when it comes out on September 30th. Then that was the end of VR. They kind of moved on to some third-party stuff with Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. This is obviously going to be set in space, and the trailer kind of showed a little bit. There was a little bit of kind of mixed reception over the trailer, but this gameplay demo looked really, really cool. You're in a spaceship at first, flying, shooting everything, and then you come out of the ship, and then you go into kind of the warfare combat. You're kind of throwing your grapple hook to rein yourself in on people and shoot them. It actually looks really cool. It's a Call of Duty that I can definitely get behind. Hopefully it will deliver. We know that is coming on November 4th, so that is definitely one that is on my radar. It looks really cool out in space. And they did also add that the Modern Warfare Remaster, that because it comes with the deluxe edition of Infinite Warfare, if you pre-order Infinite Warfare, you will get the campaign 30 days early on the PS4. So another nice little bonus there for PlayStation 4 owners. Then, possibly the biggest shock of the entire conference came out of nowhere. Shawn Layden came out onto stage, and when he came out, his shadow kind of appeared to show. Rather than him, it looked like it was a Crash Bandicoot, and then they came out and they announced that Crash indeed will be coming to Skylanders, the Toys to Life game that Activision make, and so that was pretty cool. I'm not quite sure on the art style. Like, some people like it, some people don't. I think, in my mind, it looks a little bit off. So the Bandicoot still lives in the form of Skylanders, but that was not all. No. We don't really care about Skylanders. What we care about is the words that Sean Layden said. We didn't get any trailers, but he said these exact words. Crash Bandicoot 1, 2 and 3 are going to be remastered from the ground up for PS4. That's right, Crash Bandicoot is coming back to PlayStation and Sony's latest console. Really big news. I'm sure a lot of people are really excited about that. And if you have any hopes of ever getting a new Crash, you have to go out and buy these whenever they do come out. We got no details, no gameplay, no announcements. So this is probably very, very early doors. But if you want Crash in the future, you're going to have to support these remasters. They then showed us from the high of Crash. This is probably the low of a conference. I mean, it's all been really good so far, but the low was Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. Not that there's anything wrong with Lego Star Wars, but if you've ever seen a Lego game, it just looks like every other Lego game. They said that a demo is available right now to go and download and play, and the game's out in a couple of weeks anyway, on July 1st. We then got a couple of big surprises as they come to the end of the show. First up, Hideo Kojima. That's right, the man himself is back. He was there on Sony's stage announcing some details for his new game. Now, he didn't really go into too much. He let the trailer do the talking. So we saw this trailer. Looks like there's some kind of AI involved. But the star of the show is Norman Reedus. That's right. He was going to be working with Hideo Kojima on Silent Hills. And it appears that he has brought him with him for his new game, which is called Death Stranding. We don't know really too much more about the game, other than what the little trailer showed us there, which is very, very little. No doubt this game is still a long, long way out, but it was still cool for them to show a little tease for it, so that we know kind of what's going on the, even at a very, very core level. And then, even more of a big surprise, we finally saw it. The new Spider-Man game that has been long rumoured for PS4 is coming. We saw the trailer. It looks absolutely incredible. But it's not Sucker Punch that's making it. No, it's Insomniac Games, which, to be honest, I'm almost just as excited for. Famous for the Ratchet & Clank series, famous for Sunset Overdrive, which was a very, very good game, and there's obviously a lot of kind of swinging and very colourful and stuff. The trailer looks fantastic. Really hopeful that they can bring this and make this a really good Spider-Man game, because we haven't had one for a while. The ones that Activision were doing previously were pretty poor. Now, what they didn't touch on was whether or not this Insomniac game is going to be a PS4 exclusive or if it's going to be cross-platform. Obviously, Insomniac is not a Sony first-party studio. They've worked with both Microsoft and Sony in the past, so that remains to be seen. But that was a really big surprise. And then they closed out their show by showing us some more of Days Gone from Sony Bend. Obviously, that was the big game that they wanted us to take home from it. They showed us a gameplay section of the game, which was really, really cool. It was basically, in a nutshell, you trying to escape an increasing number or swarm of zombies. They just keep on coming. There's a really cool moment where he takes like a canister from inside a car, like an oil canister, and puts it on his gun in order to make it silent. But they just keep on coming. There's some really cool sections you see when you're shooting at them and stuff, and like the scale of the zombies is pretty intense. It really did feel almost like DayZ. Is it DayZ? The film with Brad Pitt in. I think it was DayZ. I'm pretty sure that's right. But yeah, that was kind of the feeling I got from this game. Obviously, we don't know too much about it right now, but I'm really excited for it. Not always the biggest fan of zombie games, but I have faith in Ben making themselves a good game. And as soon as we know more about that, I thought it was going to be a 2016, so now you assume it's going to be 2017 at some point. Hopefully earlier rather than later. And that was it for the conference. That's all they showed us. I say that's all. That was a fantastic, fantastic showing. It was just game. And including, like I said, at the start of the show, 5 first-party games. Okay, we knew about 2 of them, but 3 of them... we knew about 3 of them, but two we knew, and then obviously getting the Hideo Kojima and Spider-Man at the end, so we've got 4 brand new reveals of the AAA caliber. Is this better than Microsoft's conference? I'll have to think about it, and I'll give you my opinion on the Game of the Week show, which you will see on Monday. But for now, let us know in the comments down below what you thought of Sony's conference. Which games are you excited for the most? Are you excited for Spider-Man, Horizon, Days Gone, all of these great games, so many great games. All we know is that the future, even though we didn't get many dates, we didn't get hardly any dates at all. Last Guardian is the only 2016 game of the AAA non-VR. But we know that the future looks really bright for Sony and PlayStation 4 users. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below what your favourite game was. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed our E3 week. We will be back with our regular news episodes next week, and obviously our other shows as well, so check those out. But thank you very much for watching, anyone, and I will see you all next time.